This pattern features a top-down set-in sleeve, which is worked seamlessly by picking up stitches around the armhole and working short rows to form the sleeve cap. I'm going to begin by explaining how this construction works, and then I will demonstrate some of the trickier parts of it. So, you begin by picking up stitches around the armhole, which will look like this when you're about ready to start the sleeve cap. Once you've picked up those stitches, your working yarn and your needles will be here at the top of the shoulder. This is the center shoulder seam, and this is the top edge where you started picking up stitches. The way that the sleeve cap construction works, you're going to work short rows back and forth across the sleeve cap like this. These are the same wrap and turn short rows that you used for the shoulders. Remember, you created for the back and front shoulders, you created these little triangles for shaping. You're going to be using short rows here as well to create this sleeve cap. You'll work those short rows all the way until about here, this point, which is about where you started working cable cast-ons for the underarm. And at that point, you will stop working the short rows and you'll return to working in the round. And the rest of the sleeve from that point forward, whether the long sleeve or the short sleeve, will be worked in the round all the way down. The column of purl stitches along the side of your armhole will give you a really nice, neat edge here between your sleeve cap and the body of your sweater. This nice, neat edge is further pronounced by the use of the wrap and turn short rows without picking up the wraps. You can see the wraps here. It creates a really nice, neat line. I have worked the first 2 rows of the upper cap, and I'm right at the end of the 3rd row, and I'm going to demonstrate what to do here. So, I have my wrap stitch from the 1st row. I'm going to just knit the stitch, leaving the wrap in place. This next step is a little bit unusual. Basically what you're going to be doing is creating sort of a faux wrapped stitch next to the actual wrapped stitch. So I'm going to bring my yarn to the front of the work between the tips of the 2 needles, and then I'm going to stick the tip of my right hand needle into the stitch purlwise and slide it off the needle. Now I'm going to put the yarn back behind the work between the tips of the needles. So this would be the first step for a wrapped stitch, but I'm not wrapping this stitch. Now I'm going to take the tip of my right hand needle, slip the stitch off the left hand needle, bring the yarn to the front of the work between the needle tips, slip the stitch back, and put the yarn back behind the work between the tips of the needles. Now I'm going to turn and begin my next short row, which would be row number 4. I'm now at the end of the 4th row. This is the stitch that I wrapped on the previous row. You can see it better from the front. I'm going to purl it without touching the wrap, leaving the wrap in place. And then I'm going to create my faux wrapped stitch next here. So I'm going to put the yarn behind the needles, slip this stitch from the left needle to the right needle, purlwise, bring the yarn to the front of the work like this, take the tip of my right hand needle purlwise into this stitch, slip it off the left hand needle, put the yarn in the back between the tips of my needles, slip the stitch back, bring the yarn to the front. Then I'm going to turn around and knit to begin the next row. You can see what appear to be 3 wrapped stitches, although we know that one of them, the one in the middle here, is a faux wrap. I have finished the upper sleeve cap, which I can tell by counting the number of wraps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now remember, some of these are faux wraps, but for counting purposes, they should look the same as the actual wraps. So now to move on to the mid cap, I'm going to work short rows without the faux wraps in between, as we did for the upper cap. And that's it.